Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and it's August, so you know what that means. The first round of Commander 2019 spoilers are out, and of course, they're crazy! First up is Seabourn Muse. It's been reprinted a couple times. A lot of the reprints are around $12 to like $18, but the current Commander 2019 one is already pre-ordering for $5.99 at Card Kingdom. So why such a low price for such a powerful card? I mean, it's a spirit, a 2/4 for 5, that says untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step, which is even better than it sounds in multiplayer. I mean, the card's overpowered as all hell, so why do they have it at $5.99? Well, most experts have speculated that it's actually probably because Card Kingdom is a bunch of idiots who don't like making money. That's the only logical reason to me, because they're printing one of these per set of 4 commander decks. That's right, for every full set of commander decks, one more of these is brought into existence. And somehow that means a price drop of 50%. Doesn't make sense to me, but it does to Card Kingdom. Next up, we have a card that we've never seen before, Kadena's Silencer. It's a 2/1 for 2 Naga wizard. When it is turned face up, counter all abilities your opponents control, and then it has Megamorph. So, funny story, there's a rumor that the person at Wizards who invented the term Megamorph got made fun of so much by the community that at this point, and keep in mind they're a paranoid, delusional, perpetual victim, if anybody mentions Megamorph, they will instantly report them to HR. I am not kidding. If anybody at Wizards so much as says, hey, were you the one behind Megamorph? Boom, complaint for harassment. That's the rumor. So anyway, if you're not familiar, because you didn't play when Morph was a thing, for Megamorph, you may cast this card face down as a 2/2 colorless creature for 3, generic, and then turn it face up at any time for the Megamorph cost, and then put a 1/1 counter on it, which is the Mega portion. Here's the problem with the commander deck that this is in. Unless the entire deck is Morph creatures, and even then you'd probably still suspect it, if you place this face down, they're going to know what it is. They're going to know that you're going to counter all abilities your opponents control. Now, the term counter all abilities your opponents control is a misnomer. Even I think it wasn't phrased correctly. What it should say is, when it is turned face up, counter all abilities your opponents control that are currently on the stack. So they'd have to stack up multiple at instant speed for no reason without letting any others resolve for this to do anything. Here's another spoiler for you. They're not going to do that if they see a morphed creature in play. So while this is hyper powerful, it's also kind of stupid. But yeah, for 2 mana, you can basically stop a Planeswalker ability. Not bad. And remember, it's triggered abilities, activated abilities, any ability. So I like it. I have a feeling it'll be pretty expensive. Except on Card Kingdom, where they undercut so many people that they end up undercutting themselves like a bunch of idiots. Next up, speaking of things named Kadena, we've got Kadena, slinking sorcerer. So Kadena's name ends in an A, and they're using the male form of the word sorcerer, and that appears to be maybe a female? I bet all that was by design. Anyway, this might be the commander. I don't know, I didn't watch the stream or I didn't go to Gen Con or whatever the hell was going on with these leaks. But it is a 3/3 for 4, 3 color, and it's legendary, so it's definitely a candidate. And it's a Naga wizard, of course. The first face-down creature spell you cast each turn costs 3 generic less to cast, which is usually its entire cost. So basically, while this is in play, you can morph stuff for free. I have a feeling the entire deck is basically morph then, if this is the commander. Also, whenever a face-down creature enters battlefield under your control, draw a card, which is insane. Now, besides what's obviously and clearly printed in the deck that might be based on maybe this as the commander, I don't know, there are some crazy Morph and Megamorph cards out there in existence already. I mean, I remember using some that are crazy. A lot of them are blue, unfortunately, a lot of them are white. So that's off color identity with this one, but still, you're going to get some mileage out of this craziness if you make this your commander. Next up, Savine's Reclamation. It's a rare sorcery, 3 cost, white, and return target permanent card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If this spell was cast from the graveyard, you may copy the spell and choose a new target from the copy, and then of course it has Flashback 5, which is not the only way to cast this from the graveyard, by the way. So you can return something, and then afterwards with Flashback, if you pay 5, you can return 2 things. Mana cost 3 or less, though, boy, that would almost have to be like your mana rocks or some weird cards. I mean, there's some overpowered as all hell cards that cost like 2, let alone 3. But it does limit you because Commander tends to get really high because of the availability of mana ramping. So I don't know how much use this would really be. Hey, speaking of Savini, we've got Savini, which may or may not be the commander. I don't know. There were no notes and I didn't follow anything Wizard said. I'm getting this from a completely different website. So this is Savini the chrono chasm. It's in America colors. You might say, but that's Jeskai colors. That's what most people say. This is a Jeskai deck, to which I would respond, this card in this deck have absolutely nothing to do with the plane that Jeskai was from, the clan Jeskai. None of the cards are Jeskai. So no, it's a red, white, and blue America deck. That is the more accurate way to refer to it. Like we've got candy cane decks, Christmas decks. I bet you know which color combinations those are without having to think, oh crap, which shard of Alara is he referring to and what are the exact colors? Don't be one of those pretentious douchebags going around telling people at your F&M, I'm running a Bant deck. No, you're not. Just say the colors. Say something people actually know or shut the hell up. Nobody knows what you're talking about. Everybody's going to ask you what colors are those. You don't seem cool. You're just being a dick. Anyway, Captain America here is a legendary creature human wizard 2/2 for 5, but prevent all damage that would be dealt to Savini the chronoclasm. Okay, so he's going to be hard to get rid of. Then whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard each turn, oh fun, I love that. Copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Well, you might as well just drop him right into an existing Izzet deck from standard right now. This is going to be some toxic, degenerate crap. Hey, do you have 6 total mana available, 4 of which are blue? Cool. Cast Quasi-Duplicate 3 times for 6 mana. That's a little broken, and I mean, I could think of all kinds of more spells that you would not want to clone, so wow, this is going to be obnoxious. So you have to force sack him, directly destroy him, or like -2 him. I mean, it's not that often that you actually would destroy like a 2/2 human wizard with damage unless you're playing red, so it sounds a lot better than it is. But force fighting with green won't work, and defeating him in combat obviously won't work, so it's probably appropriately powerful and annoying, but still annoying. Next up, we've got, Angie. I'm just going to say Angie because that sounds the funniest. Angie's Ravager. You go, Ange. It's a 3/3 for 3 vampire berserker creature, and it attacks each combat if able. Whenever Angie's Ravager attacks, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. So you're never going to run out of cards. And then Madness 2. If you discard this card, discard it into exile. When you do, you may pay its madness cost, and then you get to cast it. Otherwise, you put it into your graveyard. Oh boy, that's what we need. Constant recurring refilling of your hand in red. That's what everybody wanted. Hey, look, it's Angie. Angie Falconwrath. I'm starting to think that this might be one of the commanders. Wouldn't know, though, because I'm not following wizards on social media. So this is a 1/3 for 3 legendary creature vampire with haste, and you can tap it and discard a card, draw a card. So this is just a hyper-consistent deck combo enabling degenerate turn 2 infinite shit. Awesome. Great choice, wizards. Also, whenever you discard a card, if it has madness, untap Angie Falconwrath, because you need to do it again. Yay! It's limited in what it can do, and I doubt that this deck out of the box is going to win on turn 2 with an infinite combo, but I also doubt that people will fail to find a way to do something stupid and degenerate with this. With a casting cost of 3, it's pretty reasonable, so we'll see. I mean, it's not fetch. You're still looking at one whole card. I mean, you're cycling like one card. But if your entire deck has madness, until you hit a land, you're just going to keep going through cards until you find one that you actually want. And then if you have like a whenever creature becomes tapped ability, you could just win the game. So in a 0 lands deck, you could just instantly kind of charbelcher them to death in some way. Well, that's stupid. Next up, we got Gyruda's Belligerents, aka Mega Piggy. This is a sorcery spell, double red plus X, that's always fun, and it deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. Whenever a creature dealt damage this way dies this turn, populate, which is create a token that's a copy of a creature token you control. I never really cared for populate because you're still going all in on, not getting board wiped, and if you do, your deck's just over. And then if you don't, it's kind of overpowered, so not a very good mechanic. I'm surprised they brought it back. So next up, oh look, it's Gyruda, Conclave Exile. It's a 2/5 legendary creature human shaman 4/5. And every time he enters the battlefield, he brings a 4/4 green rhino creature token with trample with him. And whenever he attacks, populate, which is insane. The token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking, because of course it does. So I mean, that's not that crazy, but it's cool. The problem is stuff that like brings out tokens for free, or that the token shouldn't be able to attack because it's like a temporary thing. You're going to be able to do some degenerate stuff with this, I suspect. I mean, I haven't memorized every card ever printed, but I just got a feeling that this would do something bad. But he costs 5, so I mean, good luck doing something too crazy with him. Overall, probably just a good card. The problem is, who wants to drag along like 50 different tokens just to run your commander deck? I mean, wouldn't even fit in the box. And then not running the actual tokens, which by the way are probably hard to find and kind of expensive in some cases. Well, now you don't remember what's what. You just got dice out there and oh, which one's a rhino and which one's a goblin. I don't remember. Great. So that is the last spoiler for today. I suspect that we've seen all 4 of the commanders. Just as I suspected, it looks like it's 4 color, 4 color, 4 color, 3 color, just because there's only 4 decks. They shrunk it from 4 to 5 because every time they force stores to buy them 5 at a time, 1 each, and you can't say, oh, I just want to reorder these 2 decks. That's impossible. They get stuck with the ones that nobody wants and have to discount them, and then a normally hot product that usually makes money turns into an absolute burden that they have to take a crappy margin on. So to decrease that effect, they're trying to make them more even and throw value into maybe the less valuable looking ones, just so that people can at least open them and split them apart for singles, and they shrunk it from 5 to 4 decks, which I think was a very positive move. That said, every commander deck I've ever made is 2 color. It's a lot simpler that way, it's a lot cheaper, you don't have to spend a ton of money on the mana base. But one of my least favorite color combinations is black-red because it's so boring. Black is a removal color and red is just filler. Like, the creatures would be better if they were in white or green. The removal would be better if it was basically just black, let alone white with its exile power. Red is just kind of not a good color when you're looking at a pool of every card ever printed. So the Falcon Wrath deck, not really feeling it. The rest of them, they look interesting. I'm a little bit worried about the Savini and the Kadena ones, but I don't know, not so much. I mean, you know, Savini costs a lot of mana, and then Kadena, there's only so many morph creatures and only so many ways to drop something in face down. There is, what was that, Manifest or whatever, so that, you know, you don't have to morph it. Well, there's even the new Ugin, which I think does stuff face down. Now, to go back to Kadena for a second, there's a huge problem here that I see. Okay, so you use Ugin to drop in a card face down. Now, you know what it is, but they don't. Her trigger states, whenever a face-down creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Now, if you play a morph card for its morph cost and you effectively morph it, I do believe you have to say, I'm morphing this. So they know, okay, it's a creature, it has morph, got it. But it also just says whenever a face-down creature enters the battlefield. So basically you would lose the element of surprise with Ugin. You would have to flip it up and show your opponent to prove them this is a creature, in order to, as far as I know, within the rules, legally qualify for the draw a card effect. In my opinion, that is a massive flaw, because you're going to run out of morph creatures. It's not an all-morph deck. You're going to run at least Manifest, which is the other major face-down mechanic. Otherwise, you're going to run out of worthwhile creatures. You aren't going to have enough cards to build a 99-card singleton deck. So, I don't know if they'll have a ruling about this. As far as I know, whenever you want to qualify for a trigger, you have to prove it. You have to reveal something to your opponent to prove that you're not lying about something that they wouldn't normally be able to see. That's why any single effect in the entire history of the game that says, like, go grab a creature from your library and then put it in the hand also says reveal it. Because you could just be lying and say, oh yeah, here's my creature, and then you actually grabbed a sorcery. So even though it doesn't say reveal it on the card, I'm pretty sure you would have to in order to get that effect to go off, which is stupid because, like I said, the entire element of surprise is gone. So I think that's going to keep people from playing this once people realize that. So thanks for watching, I guess. And hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss more spoilers coming in the next couple days. And I will see you guys next video.